Good morning. Happy Saturday to you. My name's Evan Smith. I'm the pastor at Second Presbyterian Church here in downtown Stanton, and I'm coming to you today for your daily video devotional. Today, as we continue our look through the book of 1 John, we're in chapter 3, verses 17 and 18. Listen now to this word. John writes, "How does God's love abide in anyone who has the world's goods and sees a brother or sister in need and yet refuses to help? Little children, let us love not in word or speech, but in truth and action." So John's already talked a lot about this idea of love and the fact that our love, it's about more than just emotions. Like that real love has to have an action component with it. And so I've talked about this concept a bit, but as I read that verse and thought about it for this devotion, the question that keeps coming up to me is that very phrase, how does God's love abide in someone who has the world's goods? Meaning you've got stuff, you have things, you have these things of the world, but when you see a brother and sister in need, you don't help them. It made me think about when I first began pastoral ministry, in my first ordained call. And I'd been at the church for maybe a month or so at that point when a woman came by seeking help, saying that she needed help for X, Y, and Z, and gave me this really compelling story about why she needed aid. And like my heart went out to her, and that church, great church, had set up this fund specifically for this, for when folks come by, so that the pastor would be able to give aid out. And so I gave to her freely. I felt good about it. And it was only a little bit later I found out that she was kind of like well known as a charlatan. Like she was one of those that took advantage of churches. And here I was the new pastor, the guy who was a little green and didn't know about her. And when that happened, I felt so upset. I felt not only like I'd been taken advantage of, but I felt upset because here I was supposed to be a steward of the money that this church had so graciously entrusted me with. And I felt like I'd let everybody down. And at that point, I kind of went back to the other side and I became much more miserly, and I held things back, and someone had to really convince me, or like the Spirit had to move in such a tremendous way after that point for me to give most anything out for a while. And over the years, I've kind of come back around and thought, it is a shame that someone was trying to take advantage of me and of churches in this way, because there are folks like that. But there are a lot of folks in genuine need, and maybe it's not up to me to decide who that is. Like maybe it's just up to me to love as best I can, to give as best I can, and be as faithful as I can, and leave the rest to God. To say, God will sort all of this out someday, and I would rather err on the side of love and generosity than on the opposite side and cross over to the fault of greediness or miserliness or just discompassion. And so it's tough still. But for those of us who have been given so much and we have the world's goods, we need to be open to how the Spirit of God moves so that we give. And let's let that be our default position. Let's not wait until as if we have to wait for the Holy Spirit to do something exceptional and then we'll give. Let's just let giving and generosity as best we can be the default position, because I think that's what God would have for us as His people. And that is your word for today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please click the like button, maybe even share it on your own page. Thanks a lot. Have a great day, and goodbye.